blowing, Willie lad, lights are blazing down below. Come on, best get ready, lad, time for you to go. See the old Wilson shut his gate, Henry Arkwright's crossing full. Come on, lad, best not be late, though morning's dark and cold. Buzzers blowing, Willie lad, lights are blazing down below. Come on, let's get ready, lad, time for you to go.
Let the truth speak out. Appalling as the statement may appear, the fact is true. Thousands of our fellow creatures and fellow subjects, both male and female, the miserable inhabitants of a Yorkshire town, are at this very moment existing in a state of slavery, more horrid than are the victims of that hellish system, colonial slavery.
My name is Ibinel. I'm one of the last survivors of the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp. I grew up in a wealthy family in Bratislava, Czechoslovakia, in the 1920s and 1930s. Life was good. In the late 1930s, everything changed. The Nazis took away our possessions. My family was split up. I was hidden in Hungary and helped the resistance movement. Eventually, I was caught and imprisoned as a political prisoner. In 1944, I was taken to Auschwitz and then to slave labor for the Nazis. I survived because I spoke 6 languages and volunteered as a nurse, although I had little experience of nursing. I was freed by the American forces in 1945. I didn't know if any of my family had survived. My parents were also taken to Auschwitz. My brother Tommy hid in a lift shaft in the Swedish embassy in Budapest. My mother survived. My father did not. He was one of the last people to be executed in the gas chambers. On my wedding day, my brother gave me a very special present. It was my father's watch chain, which he had miraculously saved all through the war. He saw my parents being taken into the cattle wagons for Auschwitz. He cried. My father threw him a handkerchief to dry his tears and told him to go and hide. Tied in the corner was his gold watch chain. This was the last time any of us saw him alive. I have never taken this watch chain off my wrist ever since.
My name's Dilly. I'm 25 years old and I'm a refugee living in Huddersfield. I was a child soldier in south of Sudan. There has been a civil war with 2 sides fighting about who controls the oil in my country. There is a ruthless rebel army called the Janjaweed. They shot my mother when I was 5 years old, my father when I was 13, and my friends and anyone who I have ever cared about. I was all alone. I had nothing. I never had a bed to sleep in. I never knew where my next meal was coming from. People from an army called the SPLA told me that they would look after me, that they would be my new family. They brainwashed me and made me fight as a soldier when I was too young. The first thing they do is to make you kill another human being. They make you look into that person's eyes and tell you that it was them that killed your father, tortured your neighbor, destroyed your village. They make you angry and make you pull the trigger. The image of that person's eyes will never leave you. I still wake up at night sweating even now. Eventually, all that you have is your anger. You feel you have no choice. It is them or you. The anger can eat you up inside. Eventually, I was shot really badly in the shoulder. There are now ambulances in Sudan. I was transported to hospital for several days on the back of a camel. My wound filled up with flies and maggots. The doctor told me that it was only those maggots that had saved my life. They had eaten the bacteria and stopped the infection. Whilst in hospital, I met a man who told me he could take me to a place where there was no war. I was hidden in a container for months with 5 others. I was afraid. I had no idea where I was going and was in a lot of pain. I arrived in England. I couldn't speak the language. I knew nobody. Everything was confusing. I had arrived illegally, so I couldn't work. Life has been really hard. I have faced prejudice, poverty, and homelessness. But I've learned to speak the language, make friends, and found a place which I now call home. It has taken me several years to get the right to stay here. But this year, I have finally been allowed to stay in the UK. I want to go to university and build a new life for myself.
I think history matters because it guides us into the future. It tells us of past experiences that we can never really imagine. Only people that have been through the hard times can.
It makes you realise the bad stuff that's going on in the world.
Humanity should be learning from mistakes, not making more.
Our campaign is called Books Not Bullets. It's helping child soldiers, it's raising awareness for them. It's we could help them get their education instead of having to fight.
Some children around the world do not receive primary education. This is one of the Millennium Development Goals that the governments of the world have set, and if they are not achieved by 2015, then they have all broken their promises.
Child soldiers, they're just children. They should be fighting. They should be at school learning how to live.
We learn bad things happen when good people do nothing.
I hope to gain a better insight into other people's struggles and have more courage myself.
I hope to make a change even if it's a small one.
Books Not Bullets.